The movie begins with a cowboy ghost of Dapper Jack terrorizing the citizens and tourists in Sorghum City. The Mystery Inc. gang is headed to this city in their trusty mystery machine to meet Shaggy's cousin, who invited him over to get to know him better. The gang is excited about all the activities they can do at the Crazy Q Ranch, and Velma is concerned about her horse allergies. Once they reach Sorghum City, they realize that it is somewhat deserted. Shaggy goes to ask a local for directions to the Crazy Q Ranch, but the local runs away as if he has seen a ghost. Everyone he encounters seems to be afraid of him and they run away screaming, even the guy Daphne was asking directions from. Shaggy decides to hide in the mystery machine with Scooby-Doo while Fred, Daphne, and Velma proceed toward the Crazy Q Ranch. They meet Midge and Andy and their children Desdemona, as well as Buddy G, a celebrity rapper, singer whom Daphne recognizes and asks for his autograph. Midge tells them about more guests at the Crazy Q Ranch, the TV producers Dave and David, and the two pranking sisters Carol and Sharon. A horse named Buckstitch scares Buddy G, who wants to ride a horse, but has a deep-rooted fear of them. The ranch helpers Kyle and Larry assure him that Buckstitch will not hurt him as long as he is on this side of the fence. The ranch helpers announce lunchtime, which prompts Shaggy and Scooby-Doo to join everybody, but it results in everyone freaking out again upon seeing Shaggy. The Mystery Inc. intervenes and tells everyone that Shaggy is very much human. The ranch owner Rafe takes them all inside and they meet Tawny, Shaggy's third cousin, who is thrilled to get to know her relative. Everyone cannot help but notice that Shaggy is the spitting image of Dapper Jack, their ancestor, whose picture is hung on the wall. The ghost of Dapper Jack has been making appearances in the town, scaring locals as well as tourists, which explains why the town was deserted when the Mystery Inc. arrived. This is why everyone seems to run off screaming when they see Shaggy, because they mistake him for Dapper Jack. Rafe continues to tell them that Dapper Jack was an outlaw villain who robbed and eliminated people in his time, along with his friend Atlas. A sheriff named Rufus Carmichael took care of him and books were written about it, bringing in intrigued tourists from all over the world. Rafe describes Dapper Jack to be so evil that even his ghost comes to haunt the people. He fires green flames from his guns and has scared away a lot of businesses and tourism attractions into moving elsewhere. While the gang is getting ready for the night, they hear screams and a sinister laugh. They run outside to find Dapper Jack attacking the barn. The gang tries to get him, but he manages to escape. Next, the guests at Crazy Q Ranch enjoy their breakfast. Fred, Shaggy, and Scooby-Doo look for clues afterward, and after bumping into the old horsekeeper Zeke, who cannot see properly, they come across some crystalline shiny powder that they take up to Tawny to identify it. She tells them that it is boric acid, and she is astounded that it was near the grass since it is a pesticide. Tawny is worried she might not be able to pay the mortgage on her ranch because of the dwindling number of guests she receives now, courtesy of the Dapper Jack ghost. Most of the businesses in Sorghum City have been bought at bargain prices by a company that goes by the name Black Rattler Management, who now have eyes on the Crazy Q Ranch. The gang assures her that they will help her get to the bottom of the ghost mystery, and she won't have to lose her home. Zeke tells them that all the stories of the legend of Dapper Jack are nothing but fabricated stories because no such thing happened in the past. Daphne and Velma head to town and go to the local museum to investigate Dapper Jack. The museum clerk allows them to check the back of the museum, where the girls find a box labeled as Sheriff Carmichael's diary, but it seems it has been broken into already, and the diary is missing. This is news to the attendant, who did not even know that the diary existed. He is unsure about who stole it since he does not lock the museum. Meanwhile, Shaggy, Scooby-Doo, and Fred go to meet the cowboys, who offer them to ride horses. Even though Shaggy has never been around horses, he proves to be a natural, whereas Fred struggles to remain seated on the saddle of his horse. Later that evening, the ghost of Dapper Jack shows up, and this time he targets Tawny's ranch, setting a lot of things on fire with his green flames. He sets Buckstitch free, who runs amok. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo try to get him, but Shaggy is hit by the horse. Scooby-Doo calms him down by talking to him, while the rest of the gang along with Tawny and Rafe put out the fire before it causes any more damage. Later, the gang sits down to join the dots on how the ghost of Dapper Jack appears exactly where Black Rattler Management could be interested in buying real estate. Fred shows Velma the boric acid he found earlier that day, and she shows them how it burns with a green light, meaning the ghost has been using boric acid for his flames. While they are speculating which one of the guests could be behind this, Fred notices Dave and David carrying a case toward their car. The gang follows the duo in their mystery machine, and when they reach a deserted ridge, they watch from a safe distance to figure out what Dave and David were up to. However, as it turns out, the producers are just scouting for photos and scenes for their new movie about Dapper Jack, and they suggest that the gang head to Dapper Jack's grave in the cemetery to learn more about him. Once at the graveyard, which has a strange green mist near the villain's final resting place, the gang head to Dapper Jack's grave, where they notice that the tombstone has a glowing message, and suddenly the ghost of Dapper Jack appears. This time he is on a horse. He chases them to a nearby canoe rental station, where the gang heads into the river in a canoe. They try to row toward the safe route, but Dapper Jack shoots at a tree that blocks the way, and the gang is then headed toward the dangerous waterfall. Shaggy lassos a tree, but the branch breaks. Just as they are about to fall, the broken tree branch gets stuck between two rocks, and they are saved. They make it safely to the ground by morning, where Tawny joins them, relieved to see them well and alive. She drops them at the graveyard and mystery machine. Velma wishes to investigate the tombstone, and she figures out the writing on it was done with UV powder, while Scooby-Doo finds a pair of speakers hidden in the graveyard bushes. Whoever wanted to scare them has definitely put in a great amount of planning. Next, the gang returns to the ranch where Tawny is preparing for the barn dance later that night. The gang notices UV powder in her decor boxes, and when they ask her, she tells them that it is used for the party decorations at the barn. Since the barn is never locked, anybody could have had access to it. Then she gets sad, because she does not enough money to pay for the mortgage and has to resort to selling the ranch to the Black Rattler management. The gang advises her not to do so, as Shaggy could win the prize money for the rodeo bronco taming competition with a little help from his horse whispering pal, Scooby-Doo. Next, the celebrity Buddy G performs in the stadium with the two sisters Carol and Sharon as his backup dancers. Everyone is enjoying the night. Shaggy and Scooby-Doo also join Buddy G on stage to dance. Scooby-Doo gets distracted from helping Shaggy, and instead helps Buddy G in overcoming his fear of riding a horse. He happily joins the horse riders procession with a proud Scooby-Doo by his side. Meanwhile, Shaggy is given safety gear by some locals who think he will not be able to handle the bronco taming. However, Shaggy proves them all wrong and proves his mettle by taming the wild horse, hence winning the competition, despite Scooby-Doo not having talked to the horse. Suddenly the power goes out and the ghost of Dapper Jack appears, filling the stadium with his signature green mist. He causes a stampede of cattle and the audience runs to safety. The Mystery Inc. tries to catch the Dapper Jack ghost, but he manages to escape from the net trap. The cattle are headed toward Tawny and the Gundersons, so the gang tries to steer them away from Tawny's jeep using Velma's sneezes from her horse allergy to spook them away. After directing the cattle back to their arena, Rafe prompts Tawny to take care of the barn dance while he will stay back at the arena until things are under control. Back at the barn, Shaggy is given the prize money and trophy for winning the rodeo bronco taming competition, and he instantly gives it to Tawny, who can now save her ranch. The gang blends into the party. Daphne and Velma are able to identify Kyle as the Dapper Jack ghost because the marks from the net that the gang used to stop the ghost earlier are visible on his entire body under the UV lighting and decoration. Fred and Shaggy hand Kyle over to the police, who take him away. The locals are relieved that the ghost haunting is over, but the gang informs them that Kyle was definitely not working solo, so they ask Tawny for the keys to his room so they can look for more clues. In Kyle's room, the gang comes across a secret safe that harbors the green flame guns, the mask, and the hat of the alleged Dapper Jack. Daphne finds out the missing diary of Sheriff Carmichael stashed in the safe, with the Black Rattler's business card inside it. Velma claims to have figured out the perpetrator behind this, and asks the gang to head to the barn dance. At the barn dance, Velma goes on the stage and reads Sheriff Carmichael's diary, revealing that he was jealous of all the love and respect Dapper Jack attained from the people of Sorghum City due to his kindness, generosity, and helpful nature. It turns out that Dapper Jack was nothing but a gentle soul who had been framed for all the evil wrongdoing of Sheriff Carmichael that he did under his guise, and eventually managed to eliminate Jack, making himself the hero of Sorghum City. Next, she exposes Rafe as the second perpetrator who tries to run away but is captured with a lasso, and he reveals that he intended to buy all the land at bargain prices to sell to a big company for a lot of money. He breaks free of the lasso, steals the prize money from Tawny, and escapes on a stagecoach with a gun. Tawny worries about her ranch, as that money was her only hope to save it. Larry claims that the only horse fast enough to catch up with the stagecoach is Buckstitch, so Shaggy tames it and follows Rafe, while Fred lights the sky with fireworks so Shaggy can see. Scooby-Doo and Buddy G also pursue Rafe, and while Buddy G manages to unhinge the horses from the coach, Scooby-Doo kicks away the gun from Rafe's hand just before he shoots in Shaggy's direction. The coach crashes and Rafe passes out, but not before mistaking Shaggy for the Dapper Jack and apologizing to him. In the end, the police take away Rafe, and Shaggy gives the prize money to Tawny. She says she will keep telling everyone about the truth behind Dapper Jack and the criminal mastermind Rufus Carmichael. As the gang drives away back to their home, Shaggy notices the actual ghost of Dapper Jack, who nods his hat at him before disappearing into thin air as if thanking him for clearing his name.